Hi, I'm Mike. Kilo India 5 Mike November Alpha, KI5MNA. That's my call sign. I've been in the ham game for about 5 years, and I'm a general, and I live in a neighborhood with an HOA. So, that being said, I needed to come up with an antenna that I could communicate not only locally, but around the world. And I ran into the good folks at TN07, and I wound up with an eave antenna that I wrap around the eaves underneath my house. And later in this video, you'll see how I did that and what I did. And there's a lot of operators out there that have 30-foot towers, 60-foot towers with beams and Yagis and everything else, and 1,000-watt amplifiers and high-dollar transmitters. But honestly, you can get out around the world using a TN07 Eve antenna. And proof of concept I'm about to show you. I want to say one thing. It is really fun to make your first international contact. It's like when you make your first contact in the States somewhere, and you get somebody to come back to you and call your call sign. It's a great feeling. But imagine what it would be like to be listening on 20 meters or 17 or 15 and hear somebody calling CQ from someplace across the globe, and you respond with your call sign, and they call your call sign back to you, and you've made that contact. It's exciting. It's one of the coolest things that I've ever done, and I've been lucky to do have done a lot of stuff in my life. So, what we need a proof positive here. So, what I wanted to do was there was a couple of things. What direction can I make contacts, and what time of day can I make those contacts? Because based on your house, your location, and whatnot, you may not be able to make those contacts at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You might have to do it at 9 or 10 o'clock at night. But how do you know? So I'm going to show you a couple tricks that I've learned how to put together time of day and international contacts. And hopefully they'll be helpful for you. So I'm going to start off with the whisper. I'm going to mention this later on, but a whisper transmitter sends out a beacon from your location, your grid square. It sends it out and hits other beacons, picks up other beacons and hits other beacons, and then there's a communication between the two. And you can see how far, and it's low power, you can see how far your radio, or your antenna rather, can promote contacts like this. And you can also see the time of day when those contacts are most likely to occur. This is important, direction and time of day, because there's no point in trying to get an international contact if the bands aren't open or if it's not conducive for you to listen. It's a waste of your time. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to take you, you'll have to excuse me. My shack is in my shed, and we're campers, so we got a lot of junk in here. So you'll have to excuse the mess, but let me show you what I'm working with here. First thing is, I have that whisper unit sitting right there on top of my UHF VHF radio. And then my normal radio that I use for contacts is an FT991A. That's a 100-watt radio, and it works just great. Now, the whisper unit is running right now, and as you can see, I keep my band chart handy. But the whisper unit is running now, and the software that you can get for that unit is this is my laptop that I have the whisper connected to, and you can see it running. It's got a little arrow that's flashing there, and it's sending signals out in every direction from my antenna. Now, I want to know if my antenna is working, so I need a little proof. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Whisper Rocks, and that's WSPR Rocks, and I'm going to open it up. It's free. It's a free website. Okay, I'm going to start here at the upper corner. It says spots, so I'm going to put down 5K spots. And then how long? Well, I've had the Whisper running for about 48 hours, so we'll put 48 hours up. We'll leave all bands there. And then for a TX call, what we're going to do is I'm going to put KI5MNA, which is my call sign, in the block, and then I'm going to go to the next one, and that's an RX call. I'm going to do the same thing, KI5MNA, and we'll close that, and then we'll just click search. We'll just click search and we'll see what it comes up with. And holy mackerel, it's come up with all kinds of stuff. So let's have some fun. Let's go to map, and there is the map, and it shows all the places that my low power Whisper has made contacts. And I mean, there's all kinds of places. You got all of these contacts in North America. You've got contacts to Portugal. You've got contacts to Brazil, to Antarctica, to New Zealand, or not New Zealand, but Tasmania, all over Australia, Hawaii. And so, wow, that's a lot of contacts. So let's go one farther. Let's see. Over here on the side, you can see all these colored things. These represent frequencies. So let's do this. The number one frequency seems to be 20 meters for hits. So we're going to look at 20 meters, and we get Antarctica, we get Portugal, we get all over North America, and we get all the way down to Australia, which is pretty cool. So let's go one step farther, and let's click auto, and this is going to show you the day and night across the globe. And as you see this, you can see that there's all different times of day. You can see when these contacts have occurred. Now we can add, let's add 17 meters. All right. So you just click 17 meters. All right. Click it again. There we go. Click auto. And here we go. Day into night. And you can see all the contacts that were made on 17 meters. Now, if you want to take a look at everything, let's click 80, 40, 20, 30, 17, 15, and all the way down to 10 meters, okay? And as you notice, there's a right here, there is a shot to Brazil on 10 meters. And look at time of day is midday. That's pretty cool. So let's now watch this. Click auto and watch all the different bands as time of day changes. Different bands, different ability to contact. You notice that not everything is going to Europe. So you've got to, if you want to talk to Europe or you want to talk to South America, you need to know the time of day. That's key, so that you know when to get on the radio. And if you can get contacts like this, all these little dots are contacts. if you can get contacts like that with low power, imagine what you can do with 100 watts. So, if you want to get a whisper, all you got to do is go to Google search and type in WSPR, and you've got all kinds of, there we go, Zac Tech whisper transmitter, and there it is. You can order one of the transmitters. The transmitters aren't terribly expensive. The one I'm using is $139, and it comes with the antenna, the GPS antenna, and it comes with the wire that you hook to your computer, and so it works great, and it has the software in there. Once you buy it, you can go in there and you can click downloads, and you can load the PC software, and then you can set the configuration for your device. It's not very hard. It's pretty self-explanatory. But the key here is, one, you verify your antenna is working the way you hoped it would, that it's resonant, and you've got a low SWR. And the other thing is time of day to make communications. You can figure all that out with Whisper Rocks. I can't begin to tell you how exciting all of this is. It's been a game changer for me, and I've made a lot of contacts. And in the last 48 hours, I've gotten Antarctica, gotten Germany, Scotland, all over Australia, and Tasmania, and the North American continent is just covered up with contacts. So you can do the same thing. You just got to believe it. And I tell you, when you make the time of day to start trying, you're gonna have a ball. Now, there's a couple other pieces to the puzzle, and I want to talk about that. Let me get my face out of the way here. When you're on your radio and you're dialing, don't just sit there and roll the wheel. Start at the bottom of whatever band you're on, 20, 17, whatever, and roll that dial just like this, really, really slow, and listen. And if you hear something or see something on the waterfall on your radio, stop. Try to tune it in the best you can, and then just listen. The other thing is, I'm using a good microphone. I'm using a Heil microphone, and I have the power set for the microphone on about 50, and I'm using a good comfortable set of Sony headphones, just plain old stereo headphones, and I have them plugged into the front of my radio, and I put them on, and I just listen. That's basically what I'm doing. It's raw, it's nothing over the top, but if you're in a wheelchair, or you're up in years and you want to get on your radio and you're frustrated, this is how I figure out my contacts, time of day, and which direction I want to be going. And I listen. The key here is to listen and go slow. And I know you can do what I've done, because I'm not a rocket scientist. I'm just an old airplane mechanic. I'm Mike, and following this little tutorial, you'll see we have a whole section that's all about putting up the antenna and getting it tuned. Hi, I'm Mike. I run a TN07, HOA long wire, and it's a really cool thing. I get out all over the place, and I just thought I'd show you how I set it up and how well it works. First thing I do is I pound a ground stake in the ground. That's about 2.5 feet deep, and then I run a wire up to my matching unit. Then I take my antenna wire, let's go down through here, and I run my antenna wire around the eaves of my house. Now I've got a little thing that steps up, and then we go back around. And then again, it steps up. And then we run all the way down the house on the other side. And if you'll pause with me for just a second, as you can see, it continues on down through. Let's pause for just a second. Okay. And then the wire continues on down the side of the house. And we go down, around the corner. And we terminate it right there. Okay, now you say to yourself, what do we do as far as tuning our antenna? Well, okay, we're gonna tune our long wire now. We need a few things to do it. We need a piece of coax with 2 male ends on it, and then we need an antenna analyzer, and I'm using an MFJ 259D. So we'll screw this to the bottom of the matching unit and to the top of the antenna analyzer, and I'll show you where we go from there. Okay. All right, now we'll disconnect our ground. We'll take that off, and we'll unscrew our coax that goes to the radio from the matching unit. Then we'll go ahead and we'll install the little coax, the short coax that we're going to use, and we'll screw that in tight. And we're going to install the ground back on the cable. Okay, then we're going to connect our coax to the bottom of the matching unit, and then we'll go ahead and turn on our antenna analyzer, and we need to figure out what we want to do for tuning. So our antenna analyzer can check a lot of different frequencies. So what I want to do is, our matching unit goes between 80 and 10 meters. So I'm going to set it up for 17 meters, which will be, we'll set it 10.9 to 27.8, and I'm going to tune it to 18.1. And that's about right. And that's right in between 80 and 10 meters, somewhere in that area. And as you can see, what we're looking for is we're looking for a low SWR. So we've got a 1.1 SWR, and our resonance is about 46. So we're pretty good right there. And now we can adjust. We can go to 20 meters. We can go to a variety of other different things and check that. But for right now, we know that our antenna is resonant and we've got a low SWR. So how do we get that? Well, let me show you. Well, what we get is in the kit is about 132 feet of antenna wire. It's 18 gauge silicone antenna wire, which means that it goes from here all the way down to there. So what we do is we start cutting off wire a foot at a time is what I did. And we cut it back and cut it back and cut it back and cut it back and cut it back until we get that low SWR with a good resonance, and then we terminate it right there. Okay, once I know that I'm resonant, as I trim the wire, I'm going to check it at 80, 40, 20, 17, 15, and 10. So I'm going to go all the way down. Each time I cut a foot off, I'm going to measure it in all those different lengths as I go. And when I finally get at 17 meters, when I finally get a resonant antenna and I have a low SWR, 1.1 or 1.2, when I get to that point, then I'm going to test again. I'm going to test 80, 40, 20, 17, 10. I'm going to test them all. And once that's right, then I know that I have a resonant antenna, and I should be able to get good communication all around the world. And just to show you what I'm talking about, check this out. Okay, I have got a variety of things. I've got communications to Australia. I've got communications to Chechnya in Russia. I have Tanzania. I have Bulgaria. I have Italy. I have Portugal. I have one of Portugal's islands. I have Germany. I have Norway. And also I have Scotland. And then, and this is where I am. And plus a variety of other things on my map. And I like to use a map. It's one of the Yaesu maps, just so I can have pictures of, and I know where I've gone, and it's just so much fun to do that. So these are all the things. Now, there's one other thing that I do, and I'll show you that in just a second. Now, to prove what I'm doing, I use a little whisper transmitter which sends out just a low power signal. It's a beacon, shows out the beacon, and it goes to a GPS antenna which I run through my shed to the outside here. Then I connect the antenna, which would go to my radio, and then I put it, the USB goes to a computer, and I set this thing up so it sends out a beacon all around, just all over the place. And then based on what I get as far as the beacon, I know how well my radio is, or my antenna is working. If it's resonant and it's got a low SWR, then this thing is going to be picking up signals from all around the globe. And it's amazing how many hits you'll get on this. So that's how I do it. And I think you can do the same thing. And it's really cool the way it works. So again, I'm Mike, TN07 long wire HOA antenna. That's how I tune it, and that's how it works for me. Well, I just wanted to say thanks to Bob and Laura, the owners of TN07, and they've created something that's really, really good, that works so well for me it's not even funny. And their product is a step above for sure. Thanks again, Bob. We appreciate all your help in figuring this out, and we hope that you'll continue to produce these great products for all of us out here. And remember, it doesn't take much to make this work. When you're new to the game, when you're new to ham radio operation, and you're looking for an antenna, and you live in an HOA that doesn't allow a big tall antenna, well, this is the best way to do it. So thanks again, Bob and Laura. We'll talk to you again soon.